The story I'm about to tell you is not a fairy tale, even if it talks of werewolves, the devil, and much worse still. It happened to me and my two brothers in that forsaken month of December 1858, near the village of Wolsville in Lower Canada.
Hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be. On earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass.
Welcome, survivors. I am the SurvivalVis, and I'd like to welcome you to Sang-Froid, Tales of Werewolves, Tome 1. Bit of a mouthful, but this is going to be the next little mini-series to go on the channel for the few episodes to show off a nice little patriotic pride of sorts, being Canadian myself. So Sang-Froid is, well, we'll get into it and show off what the game really is, but it's, I believe, a completely Canadian-developed game with studio and everything. And it's been out for quite a while, and I figured this was just a nice little change of pace so that way we can kind of go in and... yeah, we'll explain that in a moment. Go in and show off basically what it is and just enjoy a little different thing on the channel. So we're just going to do new game. The two options you kind of have are either Jack, which is a higher difficulty, or Joe's here, who's normal. So I'm going to go Joe's, because I've never actually completed the game. I get to a certain point where I kind of hit an impasse. And who knows, if there's... maybe we'll reach it in the little series we do. I kind of doubt it though, but we'll see. Either way, we'll start with just normal, get the hang of things a little more. So, Joseph to Joe Carroll. Difficulty level normal. Joel excels in both close combat and with traps. Jonas was a sickly child and almost died after a bad fall from a tree, but his mother, a famous Hindu witch, used her magic spell so effectively to heal him that he grew up with an iron constitution and extraordinary strength. Enticed by the high pay they offered him, Jonas took a job as a lumberjack at the W. Hood Company at a very young age. After the forced exile of his brother Jack, who was wanted by the authorities for his role in the Patriotic Rebellions of 1837, Joe bought a little property in the village of Wolsville, where he lives with his sister Josephine. So we'll do that one there. Yeah, just overwrite. I was just testing to see. There we are. There we are. I'm surprised this case sensitive for that, but anyway, this is basically kind of your gameplay. So you have about almost 3 weeks of sorts, so almost 21 levels. I think it's about 19 levels almost in a way. So this is what we're dealing with first, is just regular wolves. For some time now, many villagers in Wolvesvale noticed a lot of strange behavior coming from the wolves in the forest, acting more aggressive than usual. There are even rumors that they've been possessed by the devil. So it gives you kind of your recommended traps at the top there, and small tips that go through. But it's an interesting... It's basically a base defense in a way. Chapter 1, Exile and Reunion.
As I live and breathe, if it isn't my little sister, Josephine, what good wind blows you to the deepest, darkest forest to see your hermit brother?
More like a storm, I'm afraid. The parish priest went crazy and jumped me like a demon when I was dusting the sacristy. I tried to fend him off with the candelabra, but a candle fell on the floor and the church caught fire. Ever since, the whole parish of Wolvesvale says it's my fault.
That's just crazy. Doesn't make any sense at all. But hey, don't just stand there like you're holding up the doorpost.
The thing is, you see, Jacques, I'm not alone.
Don't worry. It wasn't my idea to come here, brother.
Without Joseph to protect me, the villagers would have torn me to pieces in the village square. He can't live there anymore either. Please, Jacques, for the love of our mother, let bygones be bygones and let us both stay here with you.
Did you hear that? Sounds like a wolverine's outside spooking our horses. Since you're gonna be living off me, Josie, might as well make yourself useful and chase it away, will ya? Meanwhile, I'll heat up some tea for our sister.
You best take good care of her. She's got a fever.
So, little exposition to set things up and along. There is a story you go through with it all, but it's a base defense third person, and expect a number of tutorials to be going on. So we'll kind of show off the first day or two, depending on how long they take.
I'll be damned. The horses are dead, and your Wolverine looks a lot more like a wolf, Jackie boy. The pack must be close by.
Let's head up and deal with that, shall we? Now, so you got your standard movement, the WAS, shift to sprint, mouse click to do standard attacks. There's a lot of mechanics and features that will, almost every day, no matter what it is, you seem to gain more and more, which is something I've...
The bridge to the village is burning. Looks like I'm gonna be staying with Jack longer than expected.
Here's our first tutorial.
Combat. Your health is represented by the red bar at the bottom of the screen, while your stamina is represented by the green bar. You use stamina for each attack you make. If you run out of stamina, then your attacks are slow and weak. You accumulate rage for each attack you land on an enemy. The fire on the HUD and on your axe indicates that you have some rage built up. Right-click to unleash all your rage. To evade enemy attacks, you can press the space bar to perform a dodge roll.
Oh, there's a little basics of getting into things. Okay, so first nights are pretty much tutorial, give you basics, but enemy types vary a lot. Oh.
Please help me!
What do we got here?
Help! Help! May Saint Anne have mercy on me! For the love of God, please help me!
No, looks like we aren't the only ones who are having a few issues with the wolves. Oh, here's another one.
The rifle. To reload your rifle, hold down the Control key. To reload faster, click the right mouse button repeatedly. This icon appears when your rifle is loaded. Your crosshair will be red if you have no target, or if your target is out of range. It will be yellow if you're auto-locked onto an enemy. If you aim carefully for the head, the crosshair will turn green, and you can make a headshot, causing maximum damage. Left click to fire. The amount of ammo you have remaining is shown at the bottom left of the screen.
Okay, so let's try that now. So Control brings out the rifle. Oh, right, gotta remember that quickly. I'm also trying a different bit of a setup with my mic and that. Yeah, we'll finish him off with the axe. There we go. That way our rifle's loaded for anything that's next.
The good Lord has sent you. Without your help, I would have been devoured like a rabbit.
Hard to miss you, Miller. I think they heard you all the way in Quebec City.
Be careful. There's a pack of rabid wolves around here.
How many?
Dozens, hundreds maybe. They even blocked the road to my mill in the east. Go see by yourself if you want. As for me, I'm gonna run and hole up at the W. Hood Company.
Yeah, and there's a little sprint queue there, so there's a lot more mechanics that we're going to go over in the bottom left in that, and like I say, it takes a few days before you get most of them completely out of the way. But it's a good, enjoyable game for quite a while. I do want to finish it one of these days. Maybe with it going up on the channel, we'll turn it into a
Fear
main
factor.
series. Oh, here's one I was talking about, another.
When you're in combat, the fear factor meter appears at the bottom of the screen. This meter represents the time you have before your enemy's next attack. The more your enemies fear you, the greater the distance between both icons and the more time you have before the next attack. However, enemies aren't as afraid of you with each passing second, in which case the icons start to get closer. When your enemy's fear factor is equal to yours, the icons touch and your enemies attack. If you're running low on stamina, it's better to keep your distance and let it recharge. Be careful though, even if you have a higher fear factor, enemies will still attack you if you're too close.
Actually, now that I'm coming back to this after a while... Go, took those ones down. Got a little knocked back and forth. And we got the rifle ready to go. So let's check this waypoint out. See if we can't finish off this first little night.
Pack management. When you attack multiple enemies at the same time, your chances for survival drop. So it's important to know how to intimidate your enemies to space out their attacks. There are two ways to intimidate your enemies. First, every time an enemy takes damage, its fear factor decreases. Second, the icon at the bottom of the screen is one of your special abilities, the intimidating shout. Press the Q key to shout and intimidate your enemies. Don't forget, the distance between the two icons is how long you have before the next attack. Take this time to reload your gun and let your stamina recharge. Lastly, the paw symbol over an enemy's head means it's next to attack. Always pay attention to them.
I think that's where I can really make more progress with the game, because I always... There we go. Oh, well, I guess I was supposed to use the Q there, wasn't I?
That's my brother. I turned my back for 2 seconds and he's in hot water. I'd better get back to the cabin as quick as I can.
Okay, yeah, so this is where you kind of tell how much health you get to things.
Come and get me, you mangy mob!
There we go, and one more. I think these are the last ones for the first night, but we'll get the rifle loaded up just in case. There we go. And actually, it was a small studio that developed this, but they put in a huge number of mechanics for it, to be quite honest. I am impressed with how much they were able to put in for it.
They speak to me. I hear them. But especially I see. I see the beasts. They were sent by the devil.
What happened?
I don't know. She started shaking like a crazy person. Then she let out an awful scream and fell to the ground.
Damn it, I asked you to watch her!
There was nothing I could do. Go get Dr. Lamontagne.
I don't know what happened, but the bridge to Wolf's Vale was burnt down. We'll have to wait till morning.
And a little... I guess we'll go right to the next stage. We do got plenty of time, I think. So, werewolves. When the soul of a human is corrupted by the devil, it can escape its body at nightfall to go werewolf. The soul can then locate a wolf or dog and possess it. Soon after, the animal grows to monstrous size and acquires restorative features along with greatly increased strength. Retaining part of its human intellect, the werewolf is a cunning and relentless predator that will often unleash large packs of wolves. So, very resistant all personal weapons except those that are blessed. And there are traps I recommend to fighting them. So, we'll continue. Yeah, Chapter 2, Desires and Regrets. So this is more story background of sorts.
My lord, forgive me. I was overcome with desire. What have I done? What have I done?
You're only a man, LCR.
Who's there? Who are you?
But you just now invited me. When you tried to attack your servant Josephine after she'd refused your advances, I thought we had some affinities. But when you let the fire spread in your church after Josephine hit you with the candelabra, when you accused her in front of all the villagers of the crime that you had in fact committed, that was when I knew we were going to do great things together. And that is what brings me here to make an offer you can't possibly refuse concerning your lovely and inaccessible servant.
So, can you guess who the devil is? Okay, strategy mode. So, yeah, here's another aspect that gets really involved. So it can place traps for the coming night. So... yeah, so we got our floating advice lady up there. So they'll attack night in presence of a werewolf. And another tutorial.
Omens. The Omen cards represent Josephine's visions, and they help you plan your defense for the coming night. This shows the type of enemy that will attack. Leaving your cursor over a card will show you a lot of information about that enemy type. This is the number of enemies that will attack from this area. The attacking order of the Omen cards depends on what wave they belong to. During the night, a new wave will not attack until the previous wave has been defeated. You can choose which waves you see on the map with the filters on the right side of the screen. The last icon on the card represents what their target is for the night. In this case, it's your house. If you click on a card, you'll see the enemy's path to their target. Plan your strategy with the help of these Omen cards.
Okay, so that's basically our little rundown for things. Yeah, so we can set up a few wolf traps. Yeah, sure, we'll watch all the tutorials. It gets me a little more involved with it and remembers how it works.
The wolf trap. You can walk over your wolf trap without worry. You won't set it off. A wolf trap will automatically activate when an enemy walks over it.
Yeah, so simple, basically just a bear trap. And there's another one that we'll be able to test out. Hanging nets with the rocks in them.
The hanging net. The number above the net represents the amount of enemies underneath your trap. All you have to do is aim and shoot the net to bring it down on your enemies.
So you can really plan out placements and things like that, but... I was hoping maybe we get some bait or something for it, to be honest. Well, it looks like we won't have anything else, so we'll just start the night. And after we finish this one up, that'll be our first episode of Sang-Froid, Tales of Werewolves completed. I am looking forward to getting this little mini-series up on the channel, and I am actually trying to think of what would be other good series to have, too. Because I've done, actually, quite a bit through my Steam library already. So they should be all coming through here. Yeah, there they are. Yeah, we'll save the wolf traps for something else if we can. Okay, so that was wave 1. I probably should have looked and saw what direction the other ones were going to be coming from, but... yeah, this is probably another tutorial where we'll learn about the shout we can use.
Detection.
Yeah, here we go.
Enemies can see and hear you. If an enemy gets too close to you, it will see you and attack. The circle around your hero on the minimap represents the sound he makes. When you move, you make more noise. An enemy will detect you if its dot on the minimap enters your circle. Certain actions like firing your rifle or shouting create a lot of noise. When an enemy hears you, a marker will appear at your feet. This marker represents the last place an enemy heard you. All enemies that heard you will go to this marker. If the enemy does not see or hear you again, he will leave the area after a short period of time, and the marker disappears. The dashed circle on your mini-map is the range of your shout. Use this ability to lure enemies under your traps.
Yeah, so there's our little rundown of how we're going to be able to do that.
Yellow-bellied worms!
Yeah, so there was that one down. Now we're going to need to get the werewolf down as well. This one's going to be a little stronger. So I'll wait till he's in range. There we go. That draws attention.
Spawn of Satan!
So I think it's going to come down through this area here. Don't want to make much movement or noise. Yeah, there it goes. Nope, actually got through one of our wolf traps. Oh, that took him out right out. Perfect. So that was our first 2 nights of Sang-Froid, and you get a little rundown of everything you did and how much you earned for what you did. So we're up a level, which will give us access to a tree of sorts. Oh. Grand Wolves. Wolves form strong hierarchical societies led by alpha males. Only biggest and toughest these are able to reach ripe old age of 8 when they become Grand Wolves. So moves 2 times faster than regular wolves. Resentment and Damnation. Chapter 3.
Action points. It costs action points every time you place a trap. The amount of action points a trap costs to place is shown in the trap info, which appears when leaving your cursor over the icon. Some traps also cost money. To remove a trap, click on the Trap Removal tool, then select the trap. To remove all your traps, click on the Remove All tool, then confirm. Traps disappear after 1 night, except those that cost money, which stay until used.
So that's actually something you could probably take advantage of if you're smart. Well, smarter than I am, because I don't think I've really ever done it. Is that you could lay out traps that use the money a night in advance to help you out. Yeah, we better watch the movie for the bonfire.
Bonfires. To light a bonfire, press E while close by. If you're standing near a lit bonfire, it will significantly increase your fear factor. If you move too far away, you lose the bonus. This icon shows how much time is left before the bonfire goes out.
You pass every day, make sure you consideration when taking traps. Okay. And then menu for the escape key. And a few other things like that. I just want to get this wrapped up, then we'll put this sort of episode to its end there. Yeah, okay, so with that done, we'll leave this episode right here of Sang-Froid, Tales of Werewolves. I want to thank you guys very much for joining me on this episode of the mini-series. I know it's run a little long thanks to the little opening movie I wanted to squeeze in, but we're going to keep it as a mini-series to start, and if there's want and kind of gets views, we'll happily expand it to being a full series on the channel. And we are still working towards our 100 subscriber milestone. We're actually a quarter of the way there, so I really got to thank you guys so much for that. That is amazing. When we started, with the channel starting from nothing to get 25 subscribers in the time we have, thank you guys so much. Until I see you in the next video, those survivors, please remember as always to take care and stay alive.